Everyone, so today we are making a very different kind of video, but so we are basically asking you guys for help because I'm sure if you follow my channel then you know that we always talk about Flickr, the photo website that we use for our doll guide. That's our home base. That's what inspired YouTube. That's my main thing social media wise.
Yeah, YouTube is actually a spin-off of our 1,000 Splendid Dolls Flickr.
Because of the way Flickr gets most of its revenue, it's through people purchasing pro accounts. Like a lot of different websites where you get certain special features if you have the pro account, which I'll explain more later. But they do have free account options. But the problem is that those only have limited ads and they don't want to be like Facebook or YouTube. They don't want Flickr to necessarily be a cash cow, but they need to keep it afloat and have enough money so they're not in the red. And from what I've heard from looking around and doing my own research is that only 1% of people on Flickr have pro accounts, and they need to get above that 1% just to keep the lights on, so to speak. So if every person who had a pro account could get one other person to sign up for pro, we would have 2% of users, and that would be enough to keep the site. It's been around for 17 years. I remember seeing pictures of dolls from Flickr when I was 13, and it was part of the reason I decided to start my own social media. Even back then, before social media was really a thing, it resonated with me, and that's ultimately what inspired us to get on the internet in the first place. It's very near and dear to my heart, and aside from that, I think it's a great website, and there's none other that compares. Instagram might be about photos, but it's completely different atmosphere, so we're going to explain why we love Flickr and the benefits of it, and I'm going to show you around Flickr in case you're not familiar with the website. So if you know anyone who would be interested in having a pro account, if you know anyone you want to gift a pro account to, because you can do that. I have a pro account, so I'm not trying to
solicit gifts.
But there are plenty of people who want a pro account who just can't afford it right now. If you just want to spread the word around, if you have the disposable income to throw at Flickr and you don't mind because you want to support the website, or you just want to support me, it would mean the world. I had a few people on my community post say that they would, and I so appreciate it. And if you can't do it, or you don't want to, or you don't like Flickr, I totally understand, but you don't need to leave it a comment about it. And I want the conversation to be productive, and I don't want people to feel like they have to justify anything to me. I'm not asking for anyone to spend money that they don't have or sign up for something that they don't use and that they think would be a waste of time. So we're going to talk about what we love about Flickr. And I want to say that I started using Flickr in 2011. That's when I had my first account. Please don't offer me alternatives to Flickr because I know a lot of people are going to say use Facebook, use Instagram. My content has a very certain set of needs, and if all I cared about was getting a lot of followers and a lot of attention and validation, I wouldn't be on Flickr in the first place because it is a quieter community. I use Flickr because I feel like it's what best suits my content and what suits what I want to say and how I want to say it. Okay, so the number one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about Flickr compared to other photo websites is there is an impeccable photo quality, and there's so many different sizes, and you can even download photos. They allow for a lot more pixels. They just upgraded the size of photos you can have, and you can zoom in on photos, or you can just view them at a larger size. And especially with the amount of detail we put into thumbnails and things, something like Instagram where it's just and they crop it weird, it wouldn't work for what we do. And also when people are trying to identify dolls, sometimes they need to zoom in and look at things up close. So Flickr is great for that.
Also a lot of different ways to organize and customize it to be what you want. So there's collections where you input all your albums in. There's albums where you input all your photos in. So
you can organize your albums in the exact order.
Yes.
Every photo in the album can be organized exactly how you want. Move photos. So if you have the option to just view all your photos, kind of say on an Instagram feed where it shows up with just from newest to oldest.
Which is one of the things I like about it, because I like how if someone's looking for something specific and they want to look at say just Barbies, they can find that album. But if there's someone who looks at your stuff all the time and they just want to see what's new, they can just look at
Yeah, or
your
you can view your own camera roll. It'll have like a bunch of little mini pictures and you can see like the date you uploaded, and that helps if you're like privating things and you're going to make them public, or if you want to move things around, or if you need to like batch edit things. Like the organizer has so many different ways. Like you can search specific photos to change things on them. You can batch organize. You have the option to go into another thing where you can like, you know, just do all the titles and tags and things at the same time. And also replace photos. So if you know, edit it better, or in our case we have a doll guide, so we update that all the time, you can replace it. It doesn't take away any views or favorites or comments. It keeps everything intact. And
so it's helpful to people who have your photo bookmarked for the info, and you if you don't want to lose like your pre-existing views and favorites.
And if you want to move an old photo up to the front of your stream so people see it as a new picture, you don't have to repost it. You can literally change the dates and stuff. There's also no character limit on the descriptions. I personally, you know me, I talk a lot about my dolls. And also if I'm writing a tutorial or I'm writing an essay about the dolls or whatever it is, even just like my info on bodies and who's in the line and all of that, I need like a lot of characters.
Groups are good too because they're a way to get your photos around. Basically looking for people that might want to follow you or might be looking for your content. If you put it in a group pool, then people who are interested in the same kind of thing, whether it's Barbies or Bratz or anything, it's not even just doll stuff, you can put the photos in the groups.
Also, your pictures appear easily in searches on the Flickr search, and it also pops up on Google searches and search engines. And so if you look up any doll, I bet you, do it right now, any doll you can think of, look it up, there will be a bunch of people's photos from Flickr, and that is so valuable when you're trying to identify dolls, or if you just want to see a picture of a hard to find doll. And because you don't need an account to view anything anyone has on Flickr, everyone has access to it. I don't like people to have to pay or sign up for things.
You can do private messages with people on Flickr.
You can't do that on YouTube anymore.
Which I was about to say, I don't think you can even do that on YouTube anymore. Do short videos now on Flickr. There's an option to post short videos.
Yeah, 10 minutes long if you're a pro member, and you can watch the whole 10 minutes if you're a pro member, and you can watch 3 minutes if you're a free member, and I think you can only post 3-minute videos if you're a free member. That's why I haven't put videos on Flickr. Flickr does have its own editor. I mean, I know most people take pictures with their phones now, and like they can use all like those Facetune apps and Lightroom and whatever, but if you're taking a picture with your camera and you want to like crop things or whatever,
there's help forums, and I feel like whether or not you're a paid member, there are always people in help forums willing to help you. There was that issue a while back where when you replaced a photo it would go blank, and they resolved that in a matter of weeks, and you could see every day people were on the help forums.
Whereas I had issues with YouTube where my comments were disappearing and I had no way to contact YouTube. I sent in like certain things to their help, whatever, but I never heard back. They don't care if you're not monetized. There's not a lot of clear communication and guidelines on a lot of other websites, or they play favorites like, well, they have 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, so they can break the rule. Flickr's always very clear cut about what is and isn't allowed.
And it's in plain English too. It's like spelled out like you're at someone's kitchen table talking to them. They're just like, oh yeah, don't post anything creepy. Don't, you know, they say it like very clearly. They don't.
And if you have a question about it, they will always have a staff member to answer you and respond to you very quickly. And like I said, I deleted my old Flickr account twice, and I had them reinstate it twice within 24 hours each time. And I was a free member at some point, so.
It has no ads, unlimited storage, and stats. And it only costs about $1 a week.
So it's $50 a year, and if you were to sign up now, there's a discount if I'm not mistaken, so you would get it cheaper. I know that's a lot for some people. Last year it was a lot for us, but I had no other option. Where am I going to move 13,000 photos to? There's no other website like Flickr. I love it. It's my safe place. It's
and
where I go.
Unlimited storage for like $1 a week.
Yeah, it's where I go just to like unwind. Welcome to my Flickr. This is my homepage. Little promo for my friend Cheryl here. This is your like notification bell, and I'm gonna have like a crap ton of things. You can see like a bunch of favorites. But if you want to specifically certain notifications, you can have a custom view. So for me, I have it marked for people's comments. So because sometimes when a lot of people favorite things, they get buried. So you can see this bar here. You go to the photo stream, and this is my photo stream, and this is what we mean by everything kind of flowing based on how you uploaded it. So you can see like different video thumbnails and stuff. So you can see here I have like a little bio, a lot of bio I wrote for myself. You have a showcase, so these are like, for me these aren't my favorite photos, but these are ones that I just feel really represent what kinds of content you get. So like I have a lot of my flea market hauls and doll displays and, you know, some outdoor shots, some artwork, some transformations, and then Flickr organizes your most popular photos for you. And then you can see like someone left me a testimonial here, and you can link your website. So mine's YouTube, and then I have like an email, and then these are your base stats. So this is my favorite part.
Mine too.
This is the album page. So when I say check out my albums on Flickr, this is what I mean. And I want to say the Flickr mobile app really sucks, so I don't recommend it. I have mine like impeccably organized, so I have like the mixed media kind of ones first, and you'll notice that a lot of these have the same names as my YouTube playlist, and that's on purpose. That's where I got the names from. So this is where we kind of start with how I have my guide organized. So do you see why I can't use places like Instagram? Do you see? Behold, like almost 200 photos in the 1980s album, 683, 550. So you can have a description on each album. I write essays about all of my like main albums for the most part. So this is like my story of how I got into 80s Barbies, and you can see these are like all the comments here and where people favorite. Over here, this is really easy too. You can see whether it's for your own use on your own photo or on someone else's. You can see all the stats. It tells you what camera the person used. And if you need to edit things, you can edit dates through here. There's a lot of other ways you can edit them too. You can see all the groups that they're added into, and then you can see the albums that I have these added into. How, like my book, this is basically what it looks like. So I have the same layout for everything, a picture of the doll themselves, a facial close-up, and then any stuff I have for them. And for me, you can see this is a much smaller looking description, but they can be pretty heavy duty. So you can see like I have box date, how I bought them, like what condition, because it's important. So because I can be wrong sometimes if I got a doll used, but like who's in the line, what body they're on, what head mold they're on, like the factory ones. I have important notes, our little blurb about a personal fun fact, as we call it, like the story behind the doll. You get the idea. I have like pictures of all the different face variants, and you can organize this how you want. So when I add a new doll, I can pick the exact place. Even on privated photos, it just wouldn't show up for people who are viewing it until I make it public. And then you can go to the organizer here. There's multiple ways. So you can go right to your album. You can move things around. You can just drag and drop to pull things out of the album. You can say I had like, I don't know, something that was also made in the 90s and the 80s, and I wanted to like say add that doll. I can pull up what's in this album here. Batch organize, I do this a lot. I have a lot of photos privated, and then I can batch organize, like I'll show you here. Drag and drop what I want, and then I can go to like permissions. I can change it so it's public. I can go to titles, tags, and descriptions this way. Do you see? Like if you want to copy paste a bunch of info. You can edit your dates. There's also a way to edit your dates through here. So you can, like, I do a lot of copy pasting to get the exact layout I want. You can click albums and collections, and these are all of my collections on the sidebar here. So like I have doll compilations, I can just pull an album and drop it in where I want and organize it in the way what photo you want for your album cover. So say I didn't want this one, I could just like pull this photo over. It's very easy. There's a lot of different things. You can view your groups this way. You can also send things to groups that way too. This is the camera roll. This isn't something that other people can view, but when you're uploading yourself, and you can change like to date taken if you want. It has a sidebar of all the years you've taken things. There's galleries, so I don't have any galleries, But this is a way for you to take other people's photos. Say you really like Bratz dolls or you want to save information. You can add people's photos to your own gallery and organize them the way you want. And then the stats are for pro only, and these are really detailed. So you can see here, it just started the Flickr day today, so I have 69 views. But you can click on a specific date. Then these are like all of your total views for everything. It tells you how many views your photos, your photo stream, your albums, your collections, and your galleries got. This is all the views your things got that day. You can also like hit the favorites bar or the comments bar. You can view your all-time views, and it tells you percentages of where all your traffic is coming from. Private message, you can just like click your photo here and hit like Flickr mail. Those are your settings. And then this is the upload icon. And so you can just like go into your folder here, like say I was going to upload this photo. You can change your settings here. You can batch, highlight multiple things. So that is the basics of Flickr and why I like using it. And like I said, there's no limit on the length of like descriptions and stuff. So I hope you have a better understanding now, if you've never looked at my Flickr, why I need something like this instead of something like Instagram or like Facebook, because some people have really specific requirements for their content. Thank you so much for listening. We really hope that this could give you some insight into why we love Flickr and maybe encourage you to at least put the message out there. Even if you don't want to do it yourself, I don't know, make a post about it on your social media, because if my little channel could get a few people to sign up, which it already has, that every person helped to this point.
Yeah, every person counts. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, you think, oh well, it won't really make a difference if it's going down. It's going down. It actually could make a difference, because it's really, we don't really need that many people in the grand scheme of things to sign up.
So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.